We have a great community support, a great administrative support, where we have the opportunity to have our own science lab. As teachers, we have the ability to check out the science lab, come create our own science experiments following our standards.
My favorite subject is science because I like doing hands-on, especially in science lab.
I think having a variety of teaching strategies helps the kids. Some learn from reading, some learn from seeing diagrams, some have to actually physically do the experiment.
And we have all the supplies we need, we have parent backup, we have volunteer backup who can come help support us, so that way we can meet the needs of our students. So we're quite fortunate.
So I teach them all the skills that are necessary for them to even be able to test. Now with the state test that's on computers. So even the little ones have to learn how to manipulate the mouse and know certain keys, and so that's my job here.
We're using like EV3 robots to make one whole big robot.
We learn about NXT and Mindstorms and stuff, and there's this cool programming thing. It's kind of different because it's kind of modeled after how the blocks look. So it's like different blocks, you can fit them together and add, customize them to make them your own.
I truly believe our kids need the 21st century skills, which we want them to be able to compete globally when it comes to the job market. And engineering and math and sciences are so important. And if we start early, they have the opportunity and the experience to learn more.
Well, at Edison, I'm known as Miss Mandy. I am the computer lab teacher here. I teach advanced lab. I think the kids at this school are the best I've ever had, especially this year. Everybody really is being ambitious, and I just think it's the most fun.
We're making a biome project, so each of us have a biome, and we talk about the biome and our characters for the biome, and we pick characters that kind of move around in the background.
We're learning how to animate. The fun thing about this class is we write and we learn to type.
It makes me think of being an animator or programmer when I grow up.
The one thing about our robotics program is we're always looking for new technology to try to explore. One of the things I discovered during the summer through Carnegie Mellon University is a program called Robot Virtual Worlds. I took a course for educators on Robot C and Robot Virtual Worlds. Part of the course I completed using a physical robot, and part of the course I finished using a virtual robot. I discovered that using the virtual robot was so much more efficient.
With the virtual one, you actually have the chance of making a lot of mistakes and then trying to make it better.
It makes me think about what else you could do with the robot that could be very useful in life.
It would not surprise me in the future if many of the students that are in this class right now actually work in a virtual environment. It'll prepare them for their own futures, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to prepare our students for their future.
I think hands-on projects are very critical to the learning process of students. In this class, kids are learning and teaching each other. I give them a challenge. And when they don't accomplish that, they have to figure out what's wrong with it. It's all about problem solving. And I think through that and critical thinking is what will allow them to really learn the concepts. There's so much interest from middle school to do robotics. I thought that was great. I will teach them how to build motors, generators, turbines, and the main focus of engineering is using the solar energy. For the robotics class will be this Green Cities Challenge. Students will have to do certain tasks. We call them missions or challenges. And each task that is completed releases an energy bar that can power up the green city, which is in the center of this challenge here. These are problems right now that we have actually could affect the way we live in the future. And these students that I have are the ones who's gonna solve those problems.
When I first heard about 3D animation, I took whatever was in my mind into the computer. Animation, video games. Right now we're just doing basic things. In this class, I'm learning 3D animation, how to model and how to animate things to make a video game. Yes, I am working on a game. I actually want to do animation in the future. Not just 3D, but 2D and 3D.
Be something totally new, totally different than what they're used to. But since they're already working with things that are new and different and things that they really aren't used to, it will help prepare them for the future using the technology that they learn how to use in middle school.
My name is David Black. I'm the engineering and technology teacher at Clark Magnet High School and the advisor for First Robotics Team 696. We've taken students from all age levels who previously might have had no interest in robotics whatsoever and built a culture that science and technology and engineering and robotics is cool.
I'm in charge of writing grants, press releases, fundraising, anything in that category. So whenever I have a challenge towards me, I always face it. Even if I know I might mess up the first time, I'm still going to do it until I get it right.
What we do here is just awesome. It's really inspiring for both the students and myself.
The Lexus Eco Challenge gives students the opportunity to investigate an environmental issue and take action against that issue. My students this year have determined that overfishing is the issue they want to tackle.
Salmon and tuna levels, they're at all-time lows, and the demand for fish, it's only rising. We won't be able to supply this demand. We're just going to keep overfishing, and eventually there may not be many fish left.
My students have made descending devices. If you catch a juvenile rockfish, you're not allowed to keep it. So you put it in this device and send it back down to depth, and it recompresses the fish.
While they're lowering the amount of fish we take from the ocean, we want to instead replace that with crickets and other insects. Us working together, we could hopefully change the average American's diet to something more sustainable and something that's better for the environment. We're working with middle school kids so they get excited about, crickets aren't that weird. They're just like chicken or any other animal. You could eat them and they're in cute little cookies and they're fine.
I'm a science teacher and I teach AP Biology, Medical Biology, and Biotechnology. I'm also the coordinator of the Academy of Science and Medicine. So I've been working here at Corsano Valley High School since 2003. I teach my students tangible skills so they can better compete for jobs, as well as teach them cutting-edge technology to stay current and relevant.
My name is Ellen Lascola, and I teach health occupations. My class is a survey class which teaches them about a lot of different occupations that they could consider if they were going into medicine or the healthcare field. And I have guest speakers working in those professions. And we're working on a partnership with Glendale Adventist. So it's kind of to get them started on thinking what their career path might be.
So once we set up these machines, you saw the natural curiosity from the students. My AP Calculus students just came over to the machines and they're like, wow, this is really cool. Like 3D is a novelty. The first thing they did was the heart, the model, the 3D, and they kind of spun it around. And another thing I've always wanted to do with these guys but never had the funding to do it is to have buckets of computer components, the drives, the motherboard, and all of that, and have the students go through each of the buckets and pick out parts and build a computer.
It's pretty neat. It's the fact that you could it's 3D positioning, so even the pen's tracked. So you could like flip stuff over. It's like you can almost grab it. Glasses are tracked as well, so you could look underneath stuff, which is pretty amazing. It'd be pretty cool to dissect stuff. It's cooler to see stuff and just hold it in virtual space. There's no way to replicate this. You can have a 3D view in traditional 2D desktops, but just seeing in 3D gives you a whole new perspective.
What we do here is learn about the body, the anatomy of the body. Medicine is something that I would like to pursue in my future.
It provides you with so many options. So, I mean, you get to meet lots of different people that expose you to so many areas of science and medicine, and you can take these courses. I took biotechnology last year, which a lot of colleges don't even offer as a class. You just gain so many skills that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. So.
They have knowledge, and then when they move on to the college level or next level, then they can apply whatever they learn to, when they exercise or their activity. We're working on like a career pathway.
We'll continue to see more and more opportunities in new fields, and we're going to need more and more students to come out. You pull a robot out into a quad, and kids or otherwise come out, where'd you get that from? What is that? What does it do? It's a way to draw people in, but it's also a figurehead for a much broader field. Good, solid foundations, both practically and theoretically, and what people call the soft skills, the communication, the responsibility, the rising to the challenge.
We've had the opportunity to work with Glendale Unified, and for the last 2 summers, we've hired paid interns. We really feel that interns are a great way for people to understand our company, the workplace, and create a pipeline for new employees that are excited to learn.
There's a tremendous demand to reform our students' education by applying rigorous academics and real-world work experiences to 21st century careers. To deliver a world-class education for all California students, we must provide both the knowledge and skills they will need to succeed in the real world.